the good, the bad, the odd. It's one hell of a podcast.
Welcome to this episode of The Good, the Bad, and the Odd with your hosts, Mark and Sam. Hi, Sam.
Hello there.
Right, today we're doing your choice, right? Your free choice. You want
Hmm.
to tell everyone what you picked?
Yeah, so I saw this recently. I was browsing through Disney Plus, and I spotted this film, and I realized I haven't watched a Marvel film in quite a while. I
Yeah,
think the last one I actually watched was Guardians of the Galaxy 3.
three, which was a good one,
Yeah,
right?
which we talked about, which was about a year ago, if I remember.
Yeah, yeah,
Probably more.
yeah.
But yeah, it's been a while. And from what I gather, this and one other film are the biggest sort of tie-ins to the upcoming Avengers Doomsday.
Right. Not is Captain America. What's that new Captain
Captain
America?
America: Brave New World.
Is that also a tie-in, or is that on its own?
Well, in that it's part of the setting, but that seems more of a sequel to Eternals, from what I've heard. If that makes
Yeah,
sense.
I have to say, after I watched this, I was thinking, you know what, I might watch Brave New World, and I might, I'm thinking about it, but yeah,
Yeah.
I might mention
Yeah.
that
So
towards the
this
end.
is the Thunderbolts or
Thunderbolts,
the New Avengers, depending on which
yes,
title
because
version you
when I
saw.
went to see it, it was just called Thunderbolts asterisk, but you found out at the end the asterisk
Yeah.
meant New Avengers, but they've just gone and basically put the spoiler in the poster now, so it don't
Yeah.
matter anymore, does it?
It's a kind of a bit of a rosebud at this point that they become the New Avengers.
Yeah,
So it's just a spoiler you know going in at all times, really.
yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah.
but yeah, quite a fun film. Like better than I was expecting because
Yeah,
I
I went to see
remember.
this at the Smart and I greatly enjoyed it, I have to
Mm,
say. But I found it weird. The structure was a little weird.
mm,
And we'll talk about that. Not that I found anything wrong with it, it just
mm.
felt weird. It
Yeah,
felt like we're really staying a long time on this bit, is how I was
yeah,
feeling. But I was quite enjoying it anyway, so it's fine.
yeah. I
Um,
quite enjoyed how kind of little context you needed for
you didn't
to
need
going
much.
into it because a lot of the characters did quite like explain their own backstories quite subtly
Yes, yes.
in
Yeah, yeah.
comparison. The only
Yeah, and
ones that
the
I'd
digs at each other was the back.
yeah,
They basically got the exposition in digs towards each other, which is a really good way to do it. Yeah, yeah,
yeah. The only character film I'd say you'd probably have to have seen is Black Widow
yeah.
because that
It certainly
introduces
helps to see Black
Yelena and that
Window.
introduces Alexei, the Red Guardian.
Yeah,
So
and I quite like that film, but you know what? I've got virtually no memory of it anymore. I can't
mm,
really remember it. I just remember. Uh, I think I like this better than
yeah,
Black Widow. I remember this better than Black Widow. Let's put it that way.
yeah.
Yeah, I know it's more recent, but yeah. I'm just looking at them. I'm trying to find a listing in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, but Wikipedia unfortunately does it in a date order in terms of date when it's set rather than date when it come out, which I
Yeah.
don't really want.
So
So.
this is
Well, I was trying to remember what else came out because I remember this in Guardians of the Galaxy 3 with it, and maybe Doctor Strange 2. I'm not including Spider Man in this.
yeah,
Were the last really ones I enjoyed since
yeah.
Endgame, frankly.
Okay.
I can't think of any I've really enjoyed since
Yeah.
Endgame other than those three. When did, oh no, the Thor one with the
Thor: Love and
Hulk.
Thunder was
No, the one before
oh,
that I quite like.
Ragnarok. Yeah, that was
Yeah,
before Endgame.
Ragnarok was good. Was it?
Yeah.
I thought it
Yeah.
came after Endgame.
No.
Oh, my mistake.
They set up Infinity War in that film.
Oh, my mistake.
Yeah.
I got that wrong.
So this was for this was one of the it was the last film of the fifth phase of
Oh my
this
God.
and then they
Right.
moved into the sixth phase with Fantastic Four, which got a teaser at the end of this. So, should we move into the story, or is
Yeah,
there
yeah.
anything
Let's talk.
else?
Let's get into the story.
Okay.
Well, actually, I got one high level observation I just wanted to make, and it relates also to Guardians of the Galaxy 3. I found it really interesting. The subtext for this film and Guardians of the Galaxy was about mental health.
Mm,
Now, Guardians of the Galaxy was about trauma, wasn't it? It was
mm,
about, trauma and bad things happening to someone and how that
Yeah,
affects them.
bad people.
This was a fear. Thunderbolts had a streak running through it of grief,
Yeah,
which is
grief,
kind of
depression,
understandable. Yeah,
that sort of thing.
grief and depression, and I find that really interesting. And they made two really good films about such an issue,
Mm.
and quite impressive. And weirdly, Florence Pugh came to prominence in the film called Midsummer, which is also got a massive you know, underlying story about grief. It's kind of
Mm.
interesting. Um, Florence Pugh just gets stronger and stronger, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But anyway, let's.
Mm.
I just want to make that point. Do you see? Would you
Yeah, I
agree?
can see that. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
and I'd go so far as to say that the good films from these past couple of arcs have been like that. So like uh, you mentioned this and Guardians of the Galaxy 3. No Way Home is a lot about
Of
almost
course it
entirely about
is.
grief, considering what happens in there.
Yes,
Black
that is,
Widow,
and
Black Widow is
regret,
all
right?
about basically reminiscing on the
Yes,
last time that Yelena saw her sister.
yes, yes.
Yeah, and
Um,
then WandaVision is entirely about her grief. So all the best ones are
are
are about.
hanging their hat on, hanging themselves on
Mm,
mental health, stroke, that, or the best ones have an underlying
yeah.
text that they're
This is not
addressing.
to say some of the others aren't good. I do really enjoy Shang-Chi, and
Yeah, I kind of
I
like
enjoyed
Shang-Chi, but
She-Hulk. No one
again, I
else
don't
did.
remember it apart from that fantastic fight on the scaffolding. That was really
Mm.
good. But yeah. Yeah, fair enough, Shang-Chi, yeah.
Mm.
To be honest, though, ones I watch, I kind of enjoy while I'm watching them, a lot of them,
Yeah.
but I just don't remember them, or afterwards it's like that one, all that. I kind of was okay with the Eternals, for example.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't recommend it to anyone. I'd
Oh
recommend
no.
this
Yeah.
to some people, and I'd
Yeah.
recommend Guardians of the Galaxy 3 to people, but not Eternals. But
Mm.
I thought it was all right. Anyway, let's get back to
Yeah.
Thunderbolt.
We're getting a bit sidetracked here.
Thunderbolts.
Okay, so the film kind of opens with Valentina, the sort of overarching, I'm not going to say villain, but she's been sort of this shady
She's a
background
player. She's
character.
a player,
Yeah,
isn't
she's
she?
become one of the big players in the Marvel setting since
Yes.
Nick Fury's kind of gone off world,
Yes.
and yeah, she's basically kind of popped up in all the spy-related films. I'm just using that as moniker for the non. They're not super powered as such,
Yeah.
but they do
I
tend
know
to
what you
end
mean.
up in a lot of sort of black ops sort of situations.
Yeah, yeah. She's really good. I don't know this actress that well, but she's quite famous, right? She's in
Yeah, Julie Louis-Dreyfus. She
Seinfeld.
is
Yeah.
in. She's Elaine from Seinfeld, and it's quite weird to see her
Yeah.
acting
See,
like
I don't
this.
know her from that, so but I thought she was impressively good
Mm,
in this role. Yes.
yeah,
Um, and it's called OXE. I don't even know what that means.
Ox.
Ox. I
Yeah.
don't know
So
what that.
she runs or slash ran a company called Ox that was in the Black Ops and Super Soldier business.
Okay.
Uh, and she's getting impeached because she is in some form of government position. Not really clear what, but she is someone high
She's been
ranking enough
doing
to
some,
be impeached.
yeah. So for shady reasons, presumably.
Yeah,
That's the kind of implication, isn't it? Yeah.
and she needs to scrub all the terrible things that she is doing behind the scenes. So she tricks Yelena, who is the new Black Widow.
Yeah.
U.S. agent John Walker, who's Wyatt Russell. The Taskmaster, who was the villain in the original Black Widow film,
Yeah.
and Ghost from Ant-Man 2, Ant-Man and Wasp.
Yes. Yes.
Uh, she tricks them, who she has working for her, into into like a four-way Mexican standoff in a
Yeah.
room.
Yeah.
But they're all tracking each other. It's kind of a daisy chain. Uh, Unfortunately, one of the characters here does get just killed.
Yeah. We
Quite
got. Let's just
unceremoniously.
say this is spoilers from now on, right?
Yeah, we
Yeah.
usually go spoilers heavy once we start
Yeah.
talking
Yeah.
about the
Yeah. Yeah.
story.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, I was quite surprised that Taskmaster bit it.
Yeah, that was fast and furious, wasn't it?
Yeah,
The way she went out.
very sudden.
Um, and it's weird because she could have stayed. However, having said that, I did find that was it is it Ghost? Ghost
Yeah, Ghost
that
is the one that can kind of teleport.
that character was very underwritten in this film
Yeah,
compared to
so
Walker and Yelena
yeah,
and Red Guardian.
so I had a look into this, and apparently the original script had Taskmaster all the way through, and
Right,
her and Ghost kind of made like a sisterly bond
right,
over the course of it, and that was their arc to the point where the actress apparently moved closer to where they were filming this.
right.
So at the point, and then they rewrote it, and she dies at the end.
Which then killed off a load of dialogue for Ghost as well,
Yeah,
presumably.
it basically removed all her character points
Yeah,
to the
yeah,
point where she's just basically kind of nice, but also they're all kind of bitchy with each other a lot of
yeah,
the time.
yeah.
But yeah, she's in it, but not really a leading character.
No,
Shall we say?
very few lines. Very few
Mm,
lines. I did like the arc. I did like. I thought Wyatt Russell really delivered in this. Actually, he was
mm.
very, very good. Way better in this than he was in what was the other one? It a TV
Falcon
show.
and the Winter Soldier.
Well, yeah, I felt it way better,
Yeah, I
and I
think he
quite
was the
like.
best thing
I
about that
what
show.
the other thing I'd say is I wanted a bit more Bucky doing
Yeah,
his thing, right? I would have liked to have a bit more of that as well because he's kind of awesome when he gets going. But
yeah,
and everyone's like going, "You're the Winter," so everyone knows he's a badass, right?
yeah.
Um,
I do like this is he was in like a sort of suspended animation under constant mind control for like 70 years or something
yeah,
like that.
yeah.
And now everyone's just like, oh man, cool, you're the Winter Soldier. That must have been awesome. He's like,
Yeah,
oh.
he's so pissed off.
Every
And
single
again,
time.
another one, not mental health, but certainly not on a high with anything, right?
Nah,
It's more like we got to get this done, right?
yeah,
He's very pragmatic and doesn't though it's that him not having dialogue works because that's
yeah.
kind of you
That's
kind
how
of
he's
get where he's
been. It's
yeah,
like
yeah,
like
it
his character
works.
is established to be a very stoic and grim sort of person.
Yeah. I just feel like the actress was a bit underserved by the script, really. I'm sure she could have done much more and
Yeah,
been
Ghost did,
much more
unfortunately.
part of the team. Yeah, yeah.
She was
Um,
more just kind of sounds weird to phrase it like this, a power jockey. She really just got used to it's like, oh no, we're in this trouble, and then Ghost walks through a wall and
yeah,
solves it.
yeah. I felt like she was almost like the Black Noir, from the boys.
I
She was the
haven't
Black
seen that,
Noir
so
character. Okay, basically never says anything, just acts, right?
Mm,
So she's yes,
mm,
it was a bit of a shame. I would have liked to have had more to do, to be honest.
mm.
But I kind of get it because I feel like Taskmaster and her quite similar. Um, you
Not
know, but
particularly.
you
Taskmaster's
could
whole yeah, I
you could say
admit like
Yelena is too, though, right? So I'd say,
yeah, I mean we there are literally three people with super soldier serum in them in
yeah,
this film,
yeah,
and everyone is just very good with guns.
yeah,
And
yeah,
Taskmaster, whose whole shtick is I can copy other people's abilities,
yeah.
doesn't really feed into that as well.
Yeah, I kind of get why they took her out, actually,
Yeah.
thinking about it. Yeah, it's quite an interesting setup, is it? They all turn up and they've all
Mm.
got a job to do, and they're all saying, I'm not here for you. Don't get in my
Yeah.
way. And then they slowly, and Yelena realizes,
Yeah. This,
what made me laugh was Walker. He was last one to understand, wasn't he? He's like,
yeah.
no, I'm not. Basically, he couldn't accept he was dispensable. That was the issue, right? Why would they do that to
Yeah.
me? Oh, that countdown is probably them coming to get me. And they said, "Can you feel the
Yeah.
heat? Can you feel the heat
Yeah.
going?"
So that
Uh,
while they're in this room during the fight, a box gets knocked over, and a civilian by the name of Bob rolls out
yeah,
and is very confused. But the uh, Valentina, looping back to that, she's ordered all of her stuff scrubbed and gotten rid of, but like put everything in a shredder, burn all the files, sort of thing.
yeah, and that includes
That includes all these
all these
superheroes.
shady agents she's got.
Mm,
Yeah, the guy playing Bob again, not seeing him in anything,
mm.
really good,
Yeah,
totally delivered on the role. It really worked for me. Um,
yeah.
there's a few reasons I like this film, but one is everyone,
Mm,
when they were given lines, delivered on them, right?
yeah.
Really well. Anyway,
Okay.
sorry, yeah.
Apparently, he was in Top Gun Maverick.
Don't remember him in that.
Lewis, he's Bob
Lewis
Floyd.
Coleman. Mm, can't
Yeah.
remember.
He's Bill Pullman's son.
Is he?
Yeah.
I didn't realise he was
Mm.
very good anyway. Yeah, he was very good as this character.
Okay. So, yeah. So they've realized that they're all going to be killed, basically. Uh, but they do figure out a way out of there, and then start to escape. In the interim, Valentina notices that there's this just a person with them. There's Bob, and she's very confused until she realizes, oh, this is one of the other things I was doing, the Sentry Project.
Yeah,
He's someone that we were testing stuff on,
yeah, and he
and yeah,
survived, and no one else survived, right?
was dead. They do make it clear he was
He
dead,
was dead.
and now he's
Ah, I
back.
didn't catch that, and
It's
I've
like
watched it twice.
everything that the all the test subjects died. They say that specifically, but this guy is alive, and they're not. They they imply a lot of it's a lot of implication here, but it's like he came back from the dead.
Yes, yes.
So
Um,
yeah,
yeah, because I thought he was just in some sort of, I suppose, suspended animation thing. But why
yeah,
would you suspend?
someone that was dead. Yeah,
Yeah, I'm not sure. Anyway, yeah, okay. Um, but yeah, so oh yeah, Taskmaster. Who actually shot I can't remember now.
Ghost just
Ghost
kind of
just shot Taskmaster.
phases in front of her and just shoots her in the head.
Oh wow,
And
that was a
her
shock.
like quite cool skull helmet just does nothing.
Yeah, yeah.
And yeah, so they're escaping, and the super soldiers do escape. Black Yelena, Walker, and Ghost, they are able to get out of there, but Bob kind of pulls like a bit of a self-sacrifice and tries to distract all
Well,
the soldiers.
I mean, let, I said earlier, this whole sequence will last way longer than I thought it would. This kind of thing usually does. There's quite a lot of fun going on before they get out, right? There's lots of
Mm,
banter, especially with Walker. So now basically acting like, yeah, they're not kill me, they're coming to rescue me and all this. And
mm.
them having to keep explaining and then figuring
Oh,
it out as they go. And then they have
yeah,
to get up the tunnel
yeah. And
because,
they also have brief moments where, when one of them comes into contact with Bob, they start to see some element of their own backstory.
yeah.
Like
So
Yelena
that's a
sees
great way of
herself
serving
in
some
the Red Room,
backstory, right?
yeah,
As well.
and Walker, we see him basically ignoring his baby child, like infant son,
Yeah, because he wants to look at his phone about how it all went
about
wrong, right?
his further
And
backstory
walking
from
out basically on
yeah,
his family at one point, things like that. But pretending he's from everything's great at home and all this all the time. But Yelena sees right through it for a start,
yeah,
and says nothing at first, but in the end, just gets sick of his shit and sort of tells
mm,
him. I like the bickering was a lot of fun and it worked. It felt right, it didn't
mm,
feel like it was sort of contrived or anything. So I kind of liked all that. But then they get out, and as you say, they're trying to figure out how to get out there. And Bob,
Bob
because
pulls a sacrifice
basically
play.
they make Bob feel like part of them, right?
Yeah, and he
Where he
wants to
feels
let them.
really alone and stuff like that, right? He's
Yeah.
got mental health issues,
Oh
uh,
yeah.
and the fact that they are trying to help him, um, and stick together, kind of makes him feel a bit better about
Yeah,
things,
it sways
which
him a
means
bit.
he then is happy to try and sacrifice himself, right?
Yeah.
Um,
He runs about with a gun, and then a bunch of soldiers draw fire on him, and he doesn't have any injuries.
no,
And then he starts flying,
he just
and
flies
then he
straight
flies
up.
into the sky and explodes,
Yeah,
and then crashes back to the ground.
yeah, and the team are meanwhile managing to get away because the escape made me laugh because they're like trying to get out pretending to be medics and what is his character called? US Ranger.
U.S. agent.
U.S. agent.
That's yeah.
U.S. agent. Ah, okay. When the soldiers confront him and they're saying, "Show us your ID," and he's saying, "No," and Yelena's like,
Yelena goes to bed just in the background, just face palming immediately. It's
uh,
like, oh no,
yeah. But
oh
Bob's
dear.
gone and drawn
Bob
attention,
draws the attention
so they
and
manage to get
does
away.
what he does.
But when he crashes to Earth, he causes a massive shockwave,
Mm,
which throws their truck over,
yeah.
even though they're quite a way away, which means they haven't got a truck anymore, right? They're on
No, so
foot.
they're just walking through the desert,
Yeah.
hoping that
And they're
don't
trying to
draw any
figure out what's
attention.
happened. Now, Bob apparently has passed out, and they
Yeah,
fly him out in a box.
Valentina finds him and recovers him.
Yeah, all the time her assistant's saying,
Yeah, it's saying
basically
like
throwing
this
out
guy's
warnings,
unstable. We should not be doing this. So
and basically this is all about Valentina avoiding being impeached, isn't it?
yeah.
She's creating this absolute mayhem to avoid being impeached.
Mm.
Um, so they're going through this desert bare landscape,
Mm.
and then suddenly they hear this vehicle, right?
Well, no, they see it first because they're the massive dust cloud it's kicking
Oh,
up.
hold on! Before all this, Yelena does go and see Red Guardian, doesn't she?
Yes, at the very start of the film, she goes swings by him and asks if he can get her in touch with Valentina, if I remember
Yeah,
correct.
yeah. He's running like a limousine service
Yeah,
with Red Guardian
yeah,
on the side.
it coincidentally picks up Valentina, and he overhears her talking about how she's going to be burning all the evidence, which includes Yelena,
Yeah,
his daughter.
yeah.
So he drives all the way from, I think it's supposed to be New York,
New York
all
to
the way to
Nevada, is it? Or something?
Nevada, so that he can save them. But
In
he
a
arrives
limo, in
the
a
next
massive
day,
limo.
and he's like in the full Red Guardian outfit. So he's
Uh,
just
I feel like
and
he's been drinking like chugging double strength
energy
caffeine
drink,
free
yeah.
energy drinks the whole way, right?
Yeah, because
Um,
he's a bit wired, and
yeah, he is
they
wild.
literally there is a bit where they just ask him, it's like, "Have you slept?" And he brushes off the question.
Doesn't he say something like, "This is better than sleep" with
Yeah,
this drink?
but so they start driving away, but they start getting followed
Yeah,
by some armored
I have to
trucks.
laugh at Elena's reaction when she sees the limo. She's like, "Ugh."
Yeah, just the
Uh,
entire time she's like, "Oh no, oh,
and they
no."
said, "Do you know that?" And she goes, "No, I don't know.
He goes,
No,
"No," and he
no."
hops out. And he goes, "Yelena, your daddy is here." It's just like, oh.
Yeah, anyway, they start to
They
they
start
all
getting
get
chased by some
by
armored
the military,
cars.
right? By the
Yeah,
military
by
with
cops or
massive
whoever.
guns. And,
Yeah, they've got these massive, like, automated gun turrets on the top of these Hummers,
yeah, and
and
it's a limo.
it's
It's a
yeah.
limo, right?
So they've got Walker holding his purportedly bulletproof shield up at the back window to try and stop it because the windows are bulletproof, except they're not.
Yeah,
And
Red
he's like,
Guardian says
"Yeah,
it's
don't worry, I've got
bulletproof,
all."
and he says, "Yeah, I thought you said it's bulletproof-ish." He says,
Yeah, he goes, "Oh, don't worry, I've got all these tricks." He flicks a thing, and a disco ball comes down in the back of the room
and
and
starts
starts playing
playing
music.
disco.
And they're just like, "We're all gonna die."
Yeah. He
And
goes, "Give me
then
some vodka," and he uses a
he,
vodka firebomb on one.
yeah,
Sorry, like a petrol bomb, a vodka
yeah,
bomb.
Molotov cocktail.
Yeah, and he's
So
like cheering, but like it just burns off immediately, and the
yeah,
chase goes. And it's
and
like,
they do have a bit where Yelena leans out a window and like does a trick shot that looks like it explodes, and then it just doesn't.
yeah,
But
yeah.
then something latches onto the side of the trucks and blows up a few of them. And Bucky in his Winter Soldier garb roars by on a
On a
motorbike.
bike. And Red Guardian's like, "Yeah, Bucky,
Yeah,
yeah,"
yeah,
and Walker as
yeah.
well.
Because these two, but from what I gather, Red Guardian knows him from fighting.
Yeah,
Walker knows him from the events of Falcon and Winter Soldier.
right.
But Bucky does do quite a neat trick where he breaks the like tow cable on the last truck
Yeah.
and lets it run out, and then he just picks it up with his mechanical arm and punches it into the ground.
So it's like a fixed point. and
Yeah, and
flips
then
the
it just
truck.
flips the truck.
There's a lot of they look like real flips to me. I don't know if it's
Yeah.
they look real. Particularly the limousine one, which we're just about to get to, right?
Yes,
Um,
and they're like, "Yeah, Bucky saved us," and then Bucky sticks a mine on their car as well. Oh no!
yeah, we should have said earlier. Bucky's kind of working with the guy that's running the impeachment
Yeah,
program.
he is actively trying to get Yelena,
Evidence, yeah,
Valentina
evidence
impeached.
against Valentina by getting these guys to testify. Right,
Yeah,
that's the
so
idea.
he wants them all to come to New York so that they can testify in court, and Yelena gets shut down. But in this interim of them going back to New York, uh, Valentina is like a basically putting the Sentry Project back
Yeah,
in the forefront, and
she's got
really
Bob.
heavily manipulating Bob.
Yeah, but sort of saying, "No, you can be this. I
Yeah,
believe in you," and all this
yeah,
shit.
and there's
And
a
her assistant is like, "Oh God."
yeah, there's
Meanwhile,
a
Bucky does
grim
actually say to her assistant, he says, "If you want to tell me about anything, I'm here." And she's saying, "Why would I call?" But she does keep the number, right?
yeah.
Um,
There is a bit that kind of sets up just how over the top the manipulation is, where she turns to her assistant and goes, "Do I look nurturing?" And the assistant
yeah,
goes, "Yeah." And she steps in and starts trying to be motherly towards Bob, and it's like,
yeah,
ooh,
creepy.
ooh.
Yeah, it was that first bit though. The whole
Mm.
bit of them being stuck underground, getting away, being chased. That's a good 45 minutes
Yeah, that is about
of the
half the
film.
film. Yeah.
It's a fair old stretch, which surprised me because usually set pieces like that are pretty fast and then gone, right?
Mm.
But I quite liked it because there was so much banter and back and forth going on
Mm.
while they're trying to find their play. Yelena keeps insisting we're not a team. We're not a team.
Yeah.
Whereas Red Guardian's like, we are a team. And he starts talking about her little league
Yeah, there's a bit where
baseball team.
Walker's talking about all his accomplishments, and one of them was like he's been in he was is like I don't know American football terms, but he was like big in his American football. And
Yeah.
he only goes, "Oh, that's so good. I was part of the Thunderbolts Little League,
Yeah.
sponsored by this company." And there's more bickering, of course, about who sponsored the Little League between her and Red Guardian.
Yeah.
But that's where the name of the team comes from.
Yeah.
They
Yeah. So Red Guardian immediately lashes on. We are the
uh,
Milwaukee
uh,
Thunderbolts or something like that. I don't know. So
mm,
the Thunderbolts basically.
yeah, they narrow it down to the Thunderbolts.
Yeah. I like the call, but we also do see a callback of when they get Bob, they take him somewhere, and it's basically the Avengers Tower, isn't it? It's Stark
Mm.
Tower,
Yeah,
but
so
it's,
it is the Avengers Tower, but they've refitted it.
yeah, and they
Uh,
call it the Watch Tower now.
yeah,
Um, so yeah, so Al Valentin is a finessing Bob, sort of saying, "You alone are more powerful than all the Avengers combined."
yeah,
Um, and he has one bit where he starts to doubt it, and all the lights dim, and the building
yeah.
starts shaking, and
And
she
she
kind of
sees a bit
calms
of
him
her
down.
backstory as well, and
Yeah,
she snaps out of it.
and we see
But
a rather sad part of her backstory when she's a girl, right?
mm,
Which might there isn't really expanded on, but kind of explains a character of someone
yeah,
who
it's
is
a
a
very
survivor,
brutal but short
basically. Yeah,
sequence. Yeah,
he's had to survive.
mm.
Let's put it that way. So yeah,
Uh,
so Bob kind
so
of
they yeah
listens.
the plan is to break into the watchtower as it's now christened, and rescue Bob because they realize Yelena Valentina has him, and they want to get him back because he's part of the team. And they go there and they have a really quick fight with some people in the lobby.
Yeah,
And Valentina comes over the loudspeaker. It's like, "Geez, you guys keep doing this. Like, just come up. You're
yeah. And
invited.
they're like,
Come on."
oh. So yes.
And yeah, here is where we get introduced to the Sentry. Like
Yeah.
Bob is the
We
Sentry.
should mention Bucky was going to take them all in, had them all handcuffed, but they kind of talk to him
Yeah,
and he lets them out, doesn't he? He just lets
yeah.
them go.
Well, they explain that they do want to rescue Bob.
Yeah.
So
And they're like, because it's a comrade in arms, Bucky's like, and lets them go, right? Because,
yeah,
he's a soldier, right? He knows.
yeah, it
So,
plays to his shtick, but
yeah, yeah.
yeah. So they get introduced to the Sentry, Bob. He's even dyed his hair like golden,
Blonde.
sort of
Yeah, that
blonde.
was a touch of what's it from the boys about him?
Homelander.
Homelander from the boys about him.
Yeah,
Yeah, and he is
and she does like a he's
extremely
there's like
powerful, right?
him walking down the stairs, and she's like touting his abilities. And yeah, he's reportedly stronger than all the other Avengers combined. And
Yeah,
it's all this, that, and the other. And then
uh,
our heroes decide to try and square. They're like, "We're gonna take you in, Valentina,"
yeah,
and she tells them to stop them,
yeah, and
which he
he's
proceeds to handily do.
totally power. He's almost like the Doctor Manhattan levels of power, isn't he? He can just stop
Yeah,
bullets, and metal just breaks before it even touches him, and
yeah. There's a pretty fun bit where USA where Walker tries to punch him with a shield. The Sentry catches it and like starts to bend it
yeah,
around
it's
his arm.
vibranium,
It's
right?
vibranium, so you can't do that because that's
He
he's
just
gonna
bends
probably just
it.
bent it.
Yeah,
He's like force pushes. Sort of has. He's super strong. He can fly, and he kind of has the force.
yeah,
So he just pushes someone out the window and like holds them out over the
and then
air.
pulls them back again.
Fights some other people, and then pulls them back and punches them.
And this is, and then
Yeah,
basically
they
she's
get
beating them.
brutalized. They like
Uh,
he handily defeats them, and
and
they run.
Valentina overplays her hand. She says, "Right, finish it." And he goes, "What do you mean?" And he's
It's
kind
like
of
they're beat.
confident now. He's got that cold confidence. And he says, "Well, kill them." And he's like, "Well, they're no threat. Why would I?" And
Yeah,
then he starts talking about, "Well, you said I'm more powerful than the Avengers. I'm like a god." She says, "You're not a god." He goes, "The Avengers has a god in it, and
yeah,
I'm more powerful than them." And she
yeah,
realizes this is
yeah,
not going right. All right.
yeah.
But luckily
She uses some
they've got
sort of
some sort of
fail
kill
safe on
switch.
him.
Yeah, which turns him off, they think.
Yeah, they
But what
think.
it doesn't, it triggers an alternate side. I don't know if
Yeah.
it's a separate being even. I don't think
So
it's a separate
it's
being. I'm not quite
the
sure.
way it seemed to me was it was a manifestation of Bob's depression.
It was like
And
his id or something.
they refer several times to depression feeling like a void inside you.
Yeah,
And this is aptly named the
the
void.
void. It's a black. It's really effective looking.
He looks like a silhouette at all
Yes.
times with just two little pinpoints of light where his eyes are.
Yeah. And he's basically making people just blot
Yeah,
out of
he
existence, it looks like.
while the Thunderbolts are down at ground level now, kind of recovering and like trying to figure out what to do, to the point where they're like, should we just regroup and go back in? Like, should we do that fight? Because there's not much else we can do. Um, yeah, as Valentina's walking out, she gets a call from her secretary who's like, yeah, so the recovery team went in to get the body. There isn't a body, and everyone kind of looks up, and there's a man floating
It's
in
a
the air with a
silhouette.
long
And the
cape.
her
Yeah,
soldiers start shooting at it to try and
yeah,
take it out, and they
and
just blot
it's
out of
really
existence.
grim because he like basically turns them into like
And a
an
stain.
atomic shadow. Yeah,
Yeah, a
like it's
stain. And he does this with a helicopter pilot. And there's a helicopter shoot,
which yeah
and that
crashes into a
crashes,
bunch of
which causes
stuff.
all sorts of stuff falling down on people. And the Thunderbolts save people, right?
Mm. Yeah, they
Um,
step in, they're rescuing people.
yeah,
There's a lot
and
of
they're
teamwork,
working
a lot
to
of individualized power usage as well.
yeah, and teamwork to try and sort of the previous Cap America US agent
Mm.
stops something falling on a woman, but he can barely hold it up, but the rest of them come and help. And
Yeah,
they
that
actually
was a bit
now
hokey because like, what are Yelena and Ghost doing in that
yeah,
situation?
yeah,
Like,
it
what are
weighs
they
a ton, doesn't it?
contributing?
Yeah.
So,
But they then they're just
Red,
standing there recovering, but all the people around them start clapping
yeah, and they're very confused. And
because they're
there's a
not used to being heroes, are they? They're
yeah,
just
they're
not used.
the beat. They're not just like the B team, the Black Ops. Like
They're the Black Ops thing.
they
They're
don't even
not
get the
used to recognition.
recognition.
And then a
Red
big
Guardian saves a kid,
a
saves a
little
little kid from
girl.
a rock, and he's like, "You're okay, we are heroes," and she like laughs, and then is turned into a smear on the ground.
And it's like, oh, it's so
Yeah,
dark. It's so dark.
yeah,
Um, but Yelena is like just steps towards it.
yeah. So
I think I
they.
can't work out if she's just given up or if she knows it's gonna not
Well, I
do
think
any good.
she says something like he's in there, and then steps into the shadows,
Okay,
so she gets
so she
blotted
is
out.
always. And then we find Bob in a room, just in a
Yeah,
room.
well, we go through a lot of Yelena's backstory
We
as
do,
well.
we do. It's
We see
grim. It's
repeatedly
really grim.
her basically turning one of her Red Room associates as a child in, and that other child getting shot.
And we also see her doing better than everyone else in class, and all of them getting whipped across
Yeah,
the hands for being worse than her. So how's that's going to ruin someone, isn't it?
yeah,
That sort of thing. So you kind of get
yeah.
why Yelena is like that.
It's very much this is her overcoming her past.
Yes,
Uh,
and she's basically this is she talks to Bob, and this is we want you, Bob. You're our friends. We come for you. And
mm,
this is how they managed to overcome the void, which
yeah.
is Bob's other whatever hidden.
Yeah, we get a lot of very literal internal struggles
Oh
here,
yeah, they have to go
where
through rooms, don't they?
yeah, so they have to roll a bit through Bob's like history, and there's a pretty funny bit where he says that he used to be like a sign twirler in a chicken outfit, and
Yeah,
they have to fight that version of him, and they're
yeah,
like, "Why is
yeah,
this guy beating super soldiers?" And he goes, "I was on meth," and just like that's the explanation. And yeah, and then we get to his actual backstory about his abusive father.
yeah,
And I quite like that as there's a bit where they have to walk back through that, and the abusive father hops up and is like, oh, I see you, you little shit, and just punches him in the face, and they carry on.
yeah, yeah. So
They
yes,
find the void in in a representation of the lab that Yelena was in at the
yeah. So
start of
there's
the
a
film.
big fight there,
And there's a
and
massive fight that concludes in Bob almost getting swallowed up by the void while winning the fight against him.
yes,
And then them all coming and hugging Bob because they realize that him just fighting the void, fist fighting the void, isn't going to help it like
yeah,
win against it. So they all kind of grab him and try and pull him out, and they're hugging him.
yeah,
And they fall back and they're out, and everyone's back, and everyone's been saved, and New York is no longer a silhouette.
yes,
They do show the outside, and all of New York gets eaten by the void,
yes,
which
yeah.
does make me wonder if they're going to address that in the Spider-Man film. I'm kind of
We'll
curious.
see. We'll see. Um, so they managed to get back, and they
Mm.
facing Valentina.
Oh yeah, they find Valentina kind of cowering against a collapsed crane with all this sort of stuff covering it,
Yeah, and this
and
sort of
they're just like, I'm gonna kill her. So they just start walking towards her. It's like, I'm gonna kill her. It's like, no, I'm gonna kill her first. And
she
then
she disappears through a gap, and they
yeah,
follow her, and there's a massive press conference,
yeah.
and she just acts like nothing's and goes, "Oh, well, welcome
Well,
to this team we've been
yeah.
working on," and then she
These new
introduces the
Avengers.
new Avengers.
Mm.
Um,
And
uh,
everyone's kind of like, haha, yeah, because they're not sure what to do. But Yelena kind of walks up to him and just goes, "We own your ass." So,
Yes, yes. Really satisfying film. I mean,
mm,
there's a bit more to talk about. There's some post-credit stuff, but
yeah,
I like the thrust of it, and I like this "all you need is love" kind of way of ending some of these films.
mm,
It's pleasant, it's nice, and I
yeah,
like the issues they're tackling. And it was an entertaining film. They weren't beating us over the head with stuff. It was
mm,
just all there to see, right?
yeah. So he still there?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
So
I thought,
sorry, I coughed, so I turned my mic off, and then I wasn't sure whether I turned it back on again. That's
yeah,
me. So we get a
yeah,
brief mid-credit sequence where Red Guardian is basically following a woman around a
Yeah,
supermarket.
so he mentions earlier that he wants to be in his sort of hero role. He wants to be the guy on the cereal box,
He does, yes.
and he's kind of following this woman around. It's like, yeah, this cereal's good, almost as good. He like holds it up next to his head, and of course the new Avengers are on the front of it, and he just kind of grins, and she goes, "Yeah, thanks," and takes it and puts it in a cart and walks
Yeah,
away.
that's
And
why.
he just kind of goes, "I'm on the cereal, man."
Doesn't he shout? I'm on the cereal box. Um,
Yeah.
and then we get a final. Now, I went to see this at the cinema, and I thought I'd stay till the end to make sure there
Mm.
wasn't any more, but I must have not have
Yeah.
because I don't remember the sequence that's on Disney
Yeah. So
Plus
we
now.
get a silly little sequence where the Avengers are talking about how they're currently fighting the copyright that Sam Wilson's other Avengers team
Sam
has.
Wilson's the new Captain America,
Yeah, the
right?
new Captain
Was the
America.
Falcon, right?
Yeah, formerly the Falcon. Now there's a new Falcon, and Sam Wilson is Captain America.
And they're talking about copyright, and then there's
Yeah,
a report of something coming in from space at fast
yeah.
speed.
And then they said the computer says something like transdimensional ship detected, and
Yeah.
they look at it, and it slowly rotates, and there's a big blue four on it.
Yes.
Yeah,
So tying in Fantastic Four,
yeah.
which
So
means I'll probably get to watching First Steps as
yeah, I
well.
was honestly after watching this, I was like, I kind of want to watch Fantastic Four, but
Yeah.
it was like
I
no
kind of want to
chance.
watch the Brave New World as well.
Yeah.
I want to watch both, I think.
Now, from what I've
So
heard,
this
Brave
is
New World ties up the hanging plot point of there's the corpse of a god sticking out of the ground in Hawaii.
in
Like that's
in Eternals, right? Is
yeah,
that?
from Eternals.
Yeah. Oh,
Like
does it? Oh,
they
okay.
just left that hanging for years.
Right. Yeah. I was happy with it hanging. It didn't bother me.
Yeah,
Wasn't that bothered. Um, though I think I liked it more than most people. The Eternals.
yeah,
I liked it
yeah.
way.
This is a good film. Like this is
Yeah.
just like
Thunderbolts is a genuinely good film, though, right?
mm,
Yeah. Yes.
yeah,
And as I say, was Guardians of the Galaxy 3. And it's
mm,
interesting, they're both dealing with mental health issues, different ones, but mental health issues. Though actually, there are some similarities. The source of the depression, being trauma
mm,
and abuse, and
yeah.
that
Because
makes
they
it sound
always
grim.
yeah they always heap on these dramatic backstories for the characters, and then
Yeah.
it's like
Yeah.
yeah maybe we should actually address some of this.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I wasn't sure about Wyatt Russell in what was Falcon
Falcon
and the
and the
Winter
Winter
Soldier,
Soldier. Yeah.
but I've seen him more recently in Monarch, and he was pretty good in that, and I really liked him in this. I genuinely thought, yeah, this is a really good what he's presenting here. This basically a cocky,
Chucky
outwardly
wannabe superhero.
facing,
Yeah.
upward,
That's a lot
up
of false
guy who's
confidence
got a
in
lot
him.
of issues going on
Yeah.
for real. Yeah, covering up basically.
Hmm.
But yeah, the only thing is, I would have preferred the Ghost to have slightly more
Yeah.
lines and things
I
like that.
think they really could have done with just keeping Taskmaster alive, so that that would have led to Ghost having more to do as
Yeah,
well, as they'd have a whole thing. But yeah, it's still enjoyable as it is. But yeah,
yeah,
would have been fun.
yeah, yeah. Okay, I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Mm.
I mean, it was your choice, but
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. But like I say, this is the second time I've seen this, and I did enjoy it quite a lot at the cinema as well. So
Mm.
it was, it's one of those. I get these days. I gauge films of how memorable they are. If I don't remember
Mm.
them, yeah, they're all right, but I don't remember them. But this, I definitely did remember, and it was fun to watch again. Yeah.
Mm. Okay.
Let's get to rating.
Okay.
What's your
I'd
rating?
put this as an 8.
Yeah, I'll give it 8 as well. Yeah,
Mm.
it was a solid, fun film. One of the better of the more recent Marvels for sure.
Mm.
Like I say, it's this Guardians of the Galaxy and the Spider-Mans are the ones I particularly like.
Mm.
And some of the others are okay, but I just don't remember them. This I do.
Yeah,
Um,
so a lot of them kind of fall by the wayside, but
yeah, they do. They do. It's not what it was. Um, but I'm looking forward to the new Spider-Man as
yeah, that
well.
looks pretty good.
Yeah, yeah. Um, right. Okay, let's wind it up there. So, bye from me.
Bye.